Candy Crowley has made a career of being in the know about what makes the Beltway tick.
I think very often election issues are defined by crisis, but people tend not to vote in general. There are people who vote just on climate change or just on abortion or just on, gun control. It's always been conventional wisdom that absent a war, it's the economy, stupid. That Americans vote pocketbook, they don't vote war. I also think that as far as the economy is concerned, all things being equal, that it's going to be the income gap, that it's going to be the wage stagnation. You already heard Ted Cruz yesterday talking about the two Americas. But I do think that Republicans understand the power of that issue of, for lack of a better cliche, the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer and the middle class getting squeezed out. So I think it's not an income distribution thing, because that sends most people up a wall, but an equal opportunity discussion that the Republicans will want to have and will want to make it.
Candy Crowley is an award-winning journalist and one of the smartest and most astute observers of politics of our time. She served as CNN's chief political correspondent and the host of its Sunday morning talk show, State of the Union with Candy Crowley.
The disappointing blooms that came from the Arab Spring, the chaos that is still Libya, the march now through eastern Syria into western Iraq of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. So many things that Americans watch from their TV screens and wonder, what is the U.S. role here? What do we want? George W. Bush, who seemed like really aggressive to a lot of people, like, whoa, wait, we can't just go bombing countries because we think they might present a problem to us. And then we have Barack Obama, who is seen by critics as kind of like, let's lead from behind, I'm not going to get involved here, and I have a red line, well, not a red line. So this is the sort of the pendulum swing. The partisanship that has infused Washington in higher and higher degrees has also infused foreign policy. So what you find is that foreign policy has become in general, Republican versus Democratic thing. So of course it does play into the elections.
She covered presidential, congressional, and gubernatorial elections and major legislative developments on Capitol Hill for more than 2 decades.
I mean, Mitt Romney, I think, got the biggest percentage of white voters of any candidate in the last however many times, or any Republican in the last however many times, and he still lost. So that tells you something. We have to see if the coalition that came together for Barack Obama, including the independents and the young people and the minorities, if that holds. Is that a Democratic coalition or is that a Barack Obama coalition? It has been since before Abraham Lincoln that a Democrat who has finished a term has then been succeeded by another Democrat. So Hillary is like the third Obama term. No matter how she backs away from it, that's how people view it. That's a high hill.
And the Los Angeles Times called her no-nonsense and a straight shooter, characterizing her career as sophisticated political observation, graceful writing, and determined fairness.
So if you have a company and you've got 2 people and they say, that person's completely wrong, and the other one says, no, they're the ones that are wrong, and they both say to you, but we're not going to sit down together in the same room. We're not going to talk to you in the same room. You'd say, no, you're going to do it. This is how this works. Now, it doesn't have to be on TV, but what happens on TV is also what happens on Capitol Hill. They don't talk to each other. Most Americans still believe this is an exceptional nation, that in its ideals, maybe not in its practice, but in its ideals, America is an exceptional nation. And I think that's why it's disappointing to them to watch all this sort of play out. I don't think they think of it as, hey, the world's changed and there's only so many things we can affect. I think they look at it and think, well, why can't we do something about it?
It's a human vision, legacy we want to leave behind us.